we got the chance to play a small, quick card game, Greedy Kingdoms, by Hayato Kisaragi and Bruno Faiduti. A fast-paced 20-minute game, a back and forth between two players, a card game which essentially pits two players together, two opponent kings trying to build two loyal palaces faster than their opponent. They'll do that by selecting upgrades from the upgrade market, getting instant bonuses from citizens or abilities from building buildings, and special opportunities by acquiring unique magical items that they can use opportunistically in the game, and all this trying to build up, to beef up, and try to become stronger, getting more resources. The game comes with four resources, trying to be able to have the possibility to buy the two palaces and build them and win the game faster than their opponent. This is a very quick back and forth game. It comes into a real small box with nice components, a deck of cards with many different cards and lots of resources to match the gameplay. It has bluffing if you play with combining two or more copies to play with 3 or 4 players. It has betting and bluffing. It has also set collection and card play and secret unit deployment, because after you follow a sequence, you take your income, then you go through the development stage of your area as an attacker and either promote a hero or get an upgrade from the market. Then you attack your opponent by deploying 3 cards and trying to go beyond your opponent, because if they cannot deploy 3 opponents, all this is done simultaneously to match the icons that you have, then you have the ability to activate the non-blocked heroes and gain abilities, resources and extra things. Then you'll have one more development stage, and then you'll check for victory conditions, and that's it. Then your opponent becomes the attacker and you become the defender. A very fast back and forth between 2 players with easy rules, very low complexity, yet it has a nice pace and a very nice player interaction between the players. Join me at the table. I'll show you how the game works in practice, and we'll come back at the end of this video for our final opinion and our first impressions from the first sessions that we had with Greedy Kingdoms. So let's see how Greedy Kingdoms plays. This nice card game from Alderac Entertainment Group, from Hayato Kisaragi and Bruno Faiduti. This is again in the series of Big in Japan. Little card games with a lot of gameplay, simple rules and nice art and components. So what's the story about this game? Once upon a time there were 2 neighboring kingdoms. The 2 kings were both greedy and vain, which caused constant rivalry between them. "I'm more famous than you," said the one. "No, I'm undoubtedly more famous than you," said the other one. "Besides, I have a greater support from my people." Their arguments seemed endless until a traveler who had visited both kingdoms spoke up. "Who cares about people's support? A splendid palace is the only token of prestige," said the traveler. "How about deciding the most prestigious king by seeing who can construct palaces the fastest?" Satisfied with the suggestion, the 2 kings immediately begin to devise plots to construct their palaces and sabotage their rivals. So the game concept in Greedy Kingdoms is very simple. You are the ruler of a kingdom. You compete with your opponent's kingdom by playing the heroes from your hand and acquiring resources such as honor, gold, food and land. And once you have enough resources to construct a royal palace, this shows a symbol of prestige. Win the game by building 2 royal palaces more quickly than your opponent. A tense, fast, easy, but very satisfying back and forth between 2 players. So what we see in front of us, we see 18 starting hero cards in 2 sets of 9 plus 9. We'll come later again to the breakdown of these cards specifically. These are different from the 9 advanced hero cards, which upgrade, for example, the knight to adventurer, the king to emperor, etc. We have 42 upgrade cards, which is this deck here, plus the 5 ones that I have already opened for setup. This 42 upgrade cards is consisted by 17 buildings, 17 citizens and 8 magical items. We also have 3 royal palaces cards. Remember, the person who builds 2 out of 3 first then they win the game. And we have 48 resource tokens in these nice custom shaped color tokens, 12 gold, this is a gold, 12 food, obviously it has to be this one. Also we have 12 land with a leaf, and finally we have 12 honor. So let's see how we set up the game and how we start. So again, the resources, as I mentioned, these are generally used throughout the card anatomy. We'll come back to this soon, but you have to see that wherever you have an icon of this yellow circle that depicts this one, which is actually the gold, whenever you have this blue star, this depicts the honor, which is actually the icon here. That's a token and stands for honor, and it's only blue. Then you have the food, which looks like a piece of meat, which again stands out the cards anatomy and stands for food. And the last one is the land, which has the leaf from the tree, which stands for land, and you can also find it in some of the cards like this one on the top. The card cost. Now let's say, for example, take one of these cards and see the anatomy. You see here we have gold, food, honor, etc. So this is one of my 9 startup cards that I have, and the same cards are in the hand of my opponent. The letter banner marked with a minus on the left, this banner, indicates that you have a cost that you must pay if you want to collect the income after a successful attack, which you can find over here. We'll come back to this, how this works, but paying a cost means returning the specified number of resources, in this case 1 gold and 2 food, in order to be able to get the rewards and the income. These resources that you have to pay for the cost when you play this card have to be from your kingdom's resource to the common bank resource. Speaking about income, the right banner marked as a plus, so we've seen the cost with the minus banner, and the right banner with a plus stands for the income. Shows the income that you receive if this hero successfully attacks your opponent and it's not blocked by a defender hero. We'll see how this works in a moment. Receiving income means taking the specified number of resources indicated here to honor from the bank and adding it to your kingdom's supply, your own supply essentially. Again, the resources and the iconography is very simple and very easy to follow, and wherever you see, for example, this icon like here on the Alchemist, which has all 4 depicted, that means that you can this icon represents any resource token. That's why all 4 of them are depicted. We'll come back to this in a moment. Now, coming back to the hero cards, again I said each player has 9 identical hero cards as the starting hand, and they may be able to upgrade them. So these cards represent the loyal subjects of your kingdom, which you may send to attack your rival. There are starting heroes that you see in front of you, and they are advanced heroes, and all advanced heroes, we start with 9 of the same starting heroes, and all the advanced heroes are in a pile over here, so it indicates a different type of advance, but you can see that they have a golden frame compared to the normal heroes which have no golden frame. I'm just going to pick one, say for the benefit of example, I'm picking Master of Arms, which upgrades from Knight. So again, put this here. So let's see the anatomy of those two for clarification. So we have, first of all, on the left, the banner, you see the cost, either if it is the standard hero or if it is the upgraded hero. They have a cost on the left banner with a minus. They have the income, similarly like I explained before, on the right banner with the plus. Here is the income for the advanced hero. They have the indication if it is a starting hero and the type of icon. This icon stands for the starting heroes, and this icon stands for upgraded advanced heroes. So besides the golden frame, you can also see the icon here, standard, advanced. Also you have clearly the card name. This is the Knight, and this is the Master of Arms, the upgraded version of the Knight. And you can see the advanced card stats and the starting card stats. So you see it says that this upgrades to Master of Arms, and this upgrades from Knight to Master of Arms, so you know which what. Again, they're not having anything on the flip side, but also it shows the advanced stats. So when it upgrades to Master of Arms, it gains those stats which you can see on the top. But this upgrades from the Knight, and the Knight has those stats that you can see here. So anyhow, these are this is the standard version, and this is the upgraded advanced version of a hero, and that's the same for each and every one of the 9 heroes that we're going to see in a sec in our game. Now moving on to the upgrade cards. All the upgrade cards, you can see clearly that they say upgrade on the back of the deck. These are different from the hero cards. I have already shuffled and laid 5 as per setup instructions. We're going to come back in a sec. But let's have a closer look. Let me move those here for the moment. And let's have a closer look on the type of upgrade cards. We can have either, again, all upgrade cards show the upgrade keyword and they are red at the back. You can have either 3 types of upgrade cards. They can either be citizens with this icon, or buildings with this icon, or they can be magic items with this icon over here. So let's see the anatomy of all those 3 types of upgrade cards. Again, you can have the cost in the minor banner. You see it also on the building, and you see it also on the magical item. Here you see essentially the income, if they give some income, and it's on the plus banner. There is no income on the building and no income on the magic item. Then you have the icon. This is a citizen, this is a building, this is a magical icon. We come back to the sword and the shield in a moment. Actually, we'll come back now. This is the attack symbol, and this is the shield is a defense symbol, defend icon. Then we have the card title. Like the heroes, also the upgrade cards have a title. It says a farmer, says a temple, says mysterious watch, etc. And there are many in the deck. And then you have the card ability. This you'll find only essentially on those type of buildings, or those buildings and the magic items. They have an ability which is described in the text below the title. Now we'll come back in the breakdown of those, but let's see how the game is set up for starters. So the first thing that we do is each player takes 1 set of identical 9 starting heroes. So let's see our starting heroes that we have. So we have the thief, which upgrades to burglar, the bandit, which upgrades to brigand, and they have specific icon that you see on top or right of the building of the card. We have the witch, which upgrades to a sage. We have the cook, which upgrades to the court cook, the baron, which upgrades to the duke, the painter, which upgrades to the great painter, the traveler, which upgrades to the adventurer, the knight, we have seen already, upgrades to the master of arms, and the king, which upgrades to the emperor. So a set of 9 cards. Each player is going to get exactly the same 9 starting heroes. Once this is done, they take it face down in front of them, and this is the set of starting 9 different heroes. Then we randomly choose a player to be the first attacker. The first attacker takes either a gold or a food, but not both. And respectively, the second player to go as an attacker for the second round will take both of those starting resources. Then we shuffle the 9 advanced versions of our starting heroes. Again, I've shown you the adventurer, the great painter, etc. Okay. We only have 1 set of those, not 2 sets. We shuffle this, and then once they're shuffled, we place them face down next to the upgrade main deck, which is the draw pile. Then we sort the rest of the resource tokens and place them in a separate piles next to the advanced hero cards to form a bank. Last but not least, we place 3 loyal palaces in a pile. These are identical. I remember building 2 of them makes you win the game. And the last thing that we do is we shuffle the other upgrade cards. This big deck here. You'll find many cards in this one, which again can be buildings, magical items and citizens. A big variety of cards with different art abilities and income or costs, etc. Okay, so once this is done, we make a draw pile and we reveal the 5 first ones and make an offer in the middle of the table. And this is the upgrade marker. So there you have it. This is the game setup and we're ready to go. Now let's move to the game flow. Each round, one player is the attacker. In this case, the first player is this one. So this round is going, he is going or she is going to be the attacker, and their opponent is going to be the defender, with players switching roles after every round. The goal of the game is to build, as I said, 2 of those buildings, the royal palaces, in order to win the game. Once a player builds their second palace, they immediately win the game. So let's see how a game round is breaks down in steps. The first step for this player, which is the active player, at the start of turn and income, we have the first phase, which is the start of turn and income, and this is only for the attacker. You turn over cards from the upgrade deck at this stage if you don't have 5 offered here, so you fill in from the deck until you have 5 in the upgrade marker. In addition to the 3 royal palaces, these are on top of, these are always there as a pile. You need to have 5 from this deck here. And then the attacker gets an extra income given by any start of turn effects on his or her building upgrades. The players won't receive any extra income for the first turn since they don't have any buildings yet, but as soon as they have buildings built in front of them, they would be having possibly opportunities to get additional income at this stage, which is the first stage of the round, and it's the start of turn and income, but it only offers income to the attacker. Then we move to the second stage, which is the development, and this is again only for the attacker. In this step, the attacker can either obtain an upgrade, promote a hero, or pass. So let's see the 3 options. You can obtain an upgrade. The attacker chooses 1 upgrade from the upgrade marker, so one of those 5. And then what they do is these upgrades are being paid from its cost. They have a cost, as you can see on the first top left banner with a minus. They have to pay the cost to get the upgrade and obtain it. So you can get either citizen upgrades. Citizen upgrades have an instant effect when then they are removed from the game, and if the upgrade shows an income, take those resources from the bank and then follow any instructions on the card. So for example, I would pay 2 gold. If there was an income, I would receive it, and then I would follow the text on this card, which would be draw the top card of the upgrade deck and get it for free, as if you had paid the cost. So it gives me a free draw, which becomes mine without paying any cost. Okay, this is the Stonemason. And we have different citizens with a citizen icon. Another option is to obtain a magical item upgrade. These are kept face up in the player's kingdom to be used later in the game. This is an example of a magic item. It has a magic item icon, which is this cup here. And then these are placed face up next to my, let's say, playing area, playing tableau. Each player has their own, so I just squeezed now a bit for demonstration purposes, but each player has their own unique area to build their buildings and magical items, etc., and play cards. So they are removed from the game when used, and there is no additional cost to use a magic item once it has been purchased. Okay, so I'll pay again here 2 coins to buy this upgrade during the second step, which is the development, and then I will keep it in front of me and I can use it. This example, Sword of Swiftness, use and discard after using an unblocked hero. You may use the same hero again, paying its cost and receiving its income, another effect a second time. Okay, we'll explain this how it works later, but these are crucial to use on the correct timing. Another option is to buy a building upgrade. Buildings have this icon. Building upgrades are kept face up again in the player's kingdom. You build buildings next to each other. You have several buildings. Imagine that also the palaces are building types. You see they have the same icon. So when buying a building upgrade from the market, these are kept face up in the player kingdom and have a permanent effect. A royal palace, as I said, is a building upgrade that has no game effects, but you need them in order to win the game, and you keep them in front of you. For example, this one says at the start of your turn, as an attacker, you receive 1 gold from the bank because you have the port. So that means that if I was in the previous stage, the start of my turn, I was the active player, the attacker, I would also gain 1 coin if I had this card built in my playing area. Okay, so this is how this card works. And I showed you before, magical item and the citizen. Citizens are discarded and give their ability immediately. Buildings and magical items are left face up in front of you until you use them during the game. Now, this is the option when you buy. You have the options to buy one of those 3 categories when you obtain an upgrade from the upgrade market. If you don't obtain an upgrade, what you can do as an alternative during the development phase, which is the second in your attacker phase, is to promote a hero. The attacker pays any 2 resources. So for example, I can pay 1 food and 1 gold from my supply. I pay them back to the bank and then draws the top card from the advanced hero deck, which is this one. The attacker adds the advanced hero card to their hand. So I got the Masters of Arms, but I have to pick up the Knight and leave it face up in front of me together with my buildings and other things that I may have and magical items, so that it's visible to my opponent that they cannot obtain the upgraded version of Knight, which is the Master of Arms, because I have it in my hand. Since this is off the game, but on my play area, just to indicate that I have already upgraded the Knight to the Master Arms. So this leaves them instead of 9 now with 8 possibilities for the remaining of the heroes. That's why you only have 1 set here. This way every player knows which advanced heroes their opponents own. Okay, so that's what happens with the promote hero. So either obtain an upgrade or promote a hero or pass. The attacker may decide not to perform any development action and pass. The third stage that happens during your turn, I'm still an active player, the attacker, we have the battle. Now, the attacker chooses exactly 3 of the hero cards, of course by decision, I'm just drawing them randomly, okay? And I put them like that, facing my opponent, which is sitting over there from my hand, and place them face down in front of them. These are the attacking heroes. The defender also chooses exactly 3 of their heroes, starting or advanced. You can use the advanced heroes if you have them, and selects them also and places them face down in front of them to reply to the attack. Okay, so this is the defender, this is the attacker. These are the defending heroes. Then the attacker and the defender, they both reveal the cards they played. So as an attacker, I reveal my cards, and the defender reveals their defending heroes across. Then we resolve the attack. Each defending hero blocks 1 attacking hero if they both have the same hero icon, hero type icon, the symbol in the upper right corner. If a hero is blocked, it has no further effect on the battle. Advanced heroes can be blocked by starting heroes with a matching icon and vice versa. So for example, I have played the painter. There is no painter icon here to block me. I have played the traveler. There is the traveler here. So the traveler is blocked, so he's not going to perform the action because it's blocked by this guy. The painter will perform their action. The same goes for the king because I have played as a defender the knight, which doesn't block any of those. So you see, in this scenario, the attacker will ignore the traveler because it was blocked by this one. I mean, I can even put it here so it shows that it's blocked. Okay, but the king and the painter will proceed because they have not been blocked from the defense. Only the matching icons block the respective matching icons of the offense. The attacker may now use any or all of the unblocked heroes. So this attacker has this and that hero, the king and the painter, unblocked. So they may use all of the non-blocked heroes to their benefit. If they do so, they must pay the full cost, which is in the minus banner, if any. Okay, in the cost banner. If the cost is paid, the attacker receives the full income from the hero in the income plus banner. And for the cook, applies its other effect. The income from one hero can be used to pay for the cost of another hero. So for example, in this case, I need to pay 3 food and 3 gold coins to receive 3 honor and 1 land, okay, from the bank, since this is not blocked. And for this one, there is no income cost to pay, I just receive 1 honor, because both of them are available. But since the traveler has been blocked, I cannot apply the respective ability as such. So any heroes the attacker does not want or cannot pay for it, they are ignored and have no further effect on the battle, and the defender never has to pay for their defense. I mean, only the attacker pays, because they are the only ones receiving benefits. Then what happens is you take the hero cards back into your hand, both the attacker and the defender. They take back their cards. What we have after the attack is finished, which is the 3rd step, we have the 4th step, which is a second development for the attacker again. The attacker is again the active player, means they can follow the same rules and either obtain an upgrade or promote a hero or pass. Once this is done, we move to the 5th and final stage for the active player, which is check for victory. At the end of this round, if the attacker has not built the 2nd palace, then the attacker and defender switch roles, so that he will become the defender and he will become the attacker to follow through the whole sequence of 5 steps. If the attacker though has built their 2nd at this stage in their tableau building, their 2nd together with other buildings and other magical items, etc., their 2nd royal palace, then the game ends and they win the game immediately. So there are some unique hero effects, the thief and the burglar. The thief allows the attacker to steal one resource of their choice from the defender, and the burglar, similarly, the upgraded version of the burglar of the thief steals 2 resources, and the cook and the upgraded version, the corked cook, which is the upgrade. In addition to the resources they receive, the cook also allows the player to place one of their upgrades from the market at the bottom of the card and replace it with a new one from the top of the deck. The core cook similarly allows the attacker to replace 2 upgrades so that they can cycle through the deck faster. We have also the possibility, this game plays for 2 players, to play the game with 3 or 4 players. If you have 2 sets of Greedy Kingdoms, you can play with 3 or 4 players. The setup is very easy. Each player gets a set of starting heroes, like before. The 2 sets of advanced heroes are shuffled together to create a common set here. You only use 1 upgrade deck, but you use 5 royal palaces from the combined 2 copies of the game. You have some starting resources depending on if you're playing with 3 or 4 players, and the flow is the same. Similarly, when you promote a hero, if a player gets an advanced hero they already have, they draw again until they get one that they don't have, and the discarded heroes are then shuffled again back into the main deck, because we have 2 copies of each upgrade here, as you know. Then the game flow and turn order, the game goes clockwise, each player in turn attacking the player to the left until all players have had a turn, and then all players but one have built their first royal palaces. The same keeps going on in the same clockwise order, but each player now attacks the player to the right when all players have built their first royal palace. The battle steps are the same. First, both attacker and defender play their hero cards face down, then the attacker reveals their hero cards. Each player not involved in the battle in turn order may get 1 resource of their choice on the side of the attacker or defender. The defender reveals the hero cards, then we resolve the attack success if it is a successful attack. If none of or only one attacking hero is blocked, the attack is considered a success. Players who bid in the attacker get their bid resource back and win another resource of the same type from the bank. Resource bid on the defender are lost. And the failed attack, if 2 or 3 attacking heroes are blocked, the attack is considered a failure. Players who bid on the defender get their bid resource back and win another resource of the same type. And again, resources bid on the attacker are lost to the bank. Attacks are resolved normally regarding the next steps. So there you have it. These are all the details of how to play Greedy Kingdoms with teams if you have 2 copies. A very fast, easy, fun, light, back and forth game between 2 players with quick tableau building and high player interaction with simple rules. Greedy Kingdoms is a very pleasant surprise, I would say. It gains a lot of points from the small package, the small footprint it has. It's a small game. It has nice aesthetics, nice art. It really shows its roots, where it's originating from Japan, through the art, through the options, the stylistic options and the art options, and this is really nice. But above all, it's very fast and easy to play. Competition against your opponent. It's a back and forth between being an attacker and then you switch roles with your opponent. They are becoming the attacker and you become the defender. It is a race in a sense that you're racing to build 2 royal palaces faster than your opponent by acquiring the specific resources that they expect in order to be built. And if you do that, then you'll be able to win the game. Acquiring the resources is a means of developing yourself in your tableau building. Let's say you build buildings which give you additional income and minor benefits from abilities. You have magical items that also, on the correct timing, they can give a boost. And you have the citizens that they are a constant, instant source of resources for your scope. The nice thing is they are outguessing your opponent to do a very quick and easy battle. You just select 3, as you have seen, cards, you place them face down, the same does the opponent, and you try to use the icons that in theory they will not be present in the heroes of your opponent, so that you can stay unblocked and activate your 3 cards. By paying the income, the cost, you will be able to receive the income or benefit that they provide. Very fast, very easy to get behind, and very, I would say, smooth with a nice flow game. If you're into these nice quick competitions between head-to-head between 2 players, I think this is a great option and a great addition to that genre. It really gains, I would say, points from the fact that it's explained easily. It can be set in a snap, and it has also a lot of replayability because a lot of the cards you will not see them, so you'll get to see different situations, different status before. The unique, I would say, because the rest of the things and mechanisms we've seen in other games as well, the unique thing in this game is the upgrade of the heroes, together with, of course, the attack and the defense phase. But the upgrade of the heroes is very unique because even though each player has 9 heroes, and we all have 9 heroes as you have seen, there is only 1 set of those 9 heroes in their upgrade version. So it is also a means of sacrificing 2 resources to promote a hero during a development stage to get the upgraded version of your king, of your cook, of your, I don't know, knight, which has more income for you and more options in practice. Simple, fast, robust, that works nicely, and that's Greedy Kingdoms.